You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox Jury. It's Friday the 4th?
I think so.
Of January, 2008. And my guests on the jury today are actors from the Criminal Minds and the director.
Yes.
Guy Norman B.
That's me.
How are you?
I'm so thrilled to meet you, and very excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you guys ain't working right now, that's why you're here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we have Matthew Gray.
Yes.
Gubler.
Gubler or Gubler, depending on where you're from.
Gobbler.
Gobbler, yeah, whatever you like.
That's a naughty word in England.
Oh.
Gobbler.
Let's use that then.
Yeah. We have Joe McGinty.
Yeah, that's close enough.
Magenta.
McGinty.
Joe McGinty.
Magenta.
So you say magenta, I say Mantegna.
Joe Magenta.
Joe Magenta. I like it.
And we have Paget Brewster.
Yeah.
Paget. I said it
Paget.
wrong.
Paget, no.
Paget.
Yeah.
Paget Brewster. What did I say?
Pageant.
Pageant.
I don't care, the
Yeah, but
end.
it sounds like pageant, like beauty pageant.
Yeah.
She's won many beauty pageants.
Yeah.
So that's
Yes,
suiting.
many. Miss Headphones.
Still competing, yeah. Miss Headphone, 2008.
Thank you so much for having us. This
Yes,
is really, we're
great.
fans of yours, and this is exciting. So
Thank you. I loved you in, what was that one, Full House? No, House of...
House of Games.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I like that.
Awesome.
That was a brilliant movie.
Thank you.
Do you love me in anything or no?
House of Pain.
Yeah.
I've spent the whole strike watching your films, so I've seen all 3 films.
Oh, all 2 of them? Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
They're going down as we talk. Or one of them.
House of Gobblers.
House
Yeah.
of Gobblers, yeah, it's very...
That's my favorite.
That's Guy's favorite.
Can you guess what that word means in England? Gobbler.
Testicle or something?
She's got it. It's not,
I did
she did a sign.
She animated it.
Yes,
She did it very well as well.
Let me see, Pageant.
Can you do that again?
it's not.
Where's
not
the
sexy.
Where's
it's
the
this,
camera?
Which is not
Don't
not
call
how
me
I do
Gobler.
it. Not how I do it.
It obviously
Don't tell
translates
me you do
across
it like
the
that.
Atlantic.
No, I don't do it like that.
Okay, good. Because I'm not interested if it's like that.
No.
A broken Vespa. Just out of
What are you
tune.
drinking, Steve? What is that?
It's I go to Ear One on Beverly. You know that place?
Yeah.
Ear One, the health food place.
Right.
And they have like a little tonic bar in there. And this friend of mine who works in there, he's become my friend because I go in there all the time. Randy makes me up these mad concoctions. It's greens, like Synergy. It's powdered like greens with this stuff called maca. Maca's, it's like crack. It's unbelievable. It's like, it grows in like, the middle of...
Some weird mountain somewhere?
Yeah, Himalayans kind of thing. Kind of got a crack vibe. And some coconut, and it's just mad stuff, but...
It looks pretty bad.
Do you want to taste it?
No, I'm sick. I would. Thank you, though. I don't want to get you sick.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit under the weather.
It makes you glow in the dark, I'm sure, right?
It's great. It's great.
Are you gonna have to run to the bathroom soon?
No. But I did let out a fart before I come in here.
Good timing.
I thought it was me.
I have a catheter
Thanks
that's
for
plugged
leaving
in.
it outside.
I didn't want to
That's
bring...
sweet.
Only because you're a ladies in it.
Thank you.
Otherwise I wouldn't have cared. So how's Criminal Minds going? Is it? I guess you're like everyone else on not working.
Taking it easy, yeah.
Yeah, we hang out at radio stations now.
Yeah.
We're making the tour.
Is there any? I don't keep up with it, but is there any signs that strike being over?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything that optimistic.
No, I think the Directors Guild's going to go in next week and
They're going to go on strike, right?
No, they're just going to shake things up because they always negotiate months ahead of time, and they've respectfully not, let the writers do their thing for the last 2 months. But now they've, put out statements saying that after the first of the year they're going to go in and negotiate for themselves, and I think that'll, kickstart something for the writers.
But ain't someone else going to go on strike?
That's the actors. That's not till June, I think.
Yeah, and the directors and actors, both contracts.
It's like living in France.
A little bit.
But they have an uproar at any slightest thing, the French.
Oh, yeah, they're on strike all the time.
But they get things done.
Yeah.
Here you're terrified of your government. You don't do anything in America, against. In France, they strike, revolution, and then things are sorted out. You know, it's like the opposite. The people make the government do what they want, as opposed to here.
Right.
Everyone's terrified.
Well, they know how to strike there. They stop everything. Everything comes to a halt. You know, here we kind of strike and kind of nod. And
Someone was for
people
Letterman.
have this. Yeah, what is that? You know, I'm from Chicago. When you went on strike, you know, you have to watch out somebody didn't like shoot you or something, or burn your house down, or
Yeah, you have
if you're going to strike. Should be like war.
Yeah.
You know
Someone
what I mean?
start
If you're
your
going
car
to
for you.
stop it.
What do you think would happen if all them soldiers striked?
Oh.
Went on strike.
Oh, boy, that's interesting.
That's like
Peace
that
would
old
break
saying.
out.
Peace
Exactly.
a bad case of peace would
What if there was a war and nobody showed up? That's like that old line.
Yeah. Interesting.
Is that a gavel? You really have you got the whole shebang here.
Yeah, it's got my name on it too. Look,
Judge Wapner. I'm just kidding.
Jonesy's Jukebox, Judge Jones.
That's great. You see that?
Cool.
Remember when we stole all those pens that looked like those?
Oh yeah.
Gubler and I went to
do.
a silent auction and we stole all the pens.
So many.
And they were shaped like gavels.
Did you any of you guys know each other before you did this show?
I knew Gubler.
Oh yeah, I knew Paget.
I met the whole cast up in when they shot the pilot. They shot the pilot in Vancouver, and I was doing a really bad movie of the week, and I knew someone on the show who is no longer on the show, and so I met these guys for dinner. So I've had a crush on Goobs for.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh, Gobbler.
Me too.
Gubler,
Gobbler,
Gubler.
Gobbler's in there.
I don't know.
Oh, I love him. I'm a cougar. I'm a cougar for you.
A cougar.
I am. I'm a coug.
Oh, you're not old enough to
I'm a
be
coug for the goob.
Please make a shirt that says that.
Do a lot of birds like you?
No.
Yes.
She's making
He
fun of me.
plays
yeah.
this. He dates these hot models with mouths like a couch,
My
and they're
daughter,
all crazy, and they stalk him. And
my
they're-
oldest daughter's convinced she's going to marry him,
She's a beautiful girl.
and she's
We
just constantly.
All the hot
me
girls
is
love
always-
the
We
Goobs.
may be related soon.
There we go.
Oh, no.
Break my heart.
So you're a humble guy? Is that the thing?
They're honestly joking around, right? They're trying to
I'm
seem
dead
cooler.
serious.
Thank you for saying that.
It's never.
One of the
gonna-
ladies outside saw you,
That was my mom. Yeah. I sent her there to do that.
and she saw you, and she saw you in the alley, and she did a second take. She went, "Oh, criminal! Criminal!"
Well, he looks a lot like a
Oh,
criminal,
yeah,
but
he does. He looks a little homeless now.
Evidently, he stole some gavel pens back in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just catching on.
So I've got to confess, I haven't seen the show. I don't watch TV.
That's all right.
I watch the History Channel and the Soccer Channel, and that's
Yeah,
it. Is it like CSI?
No.
It's not like that.
no, I would say not.
It's 44 minutes long. It's a drama, but it's we're not so much procedural. They're like, oh, get the glass and put crazy glue mist on it, and then we'll find the guy who killed the reenactment actor, and we're more chasing after the guy while he's killing people. So
Is
we're
it about-
profilers for the behavioral analysis unit at Quantico for the FBI. We're all special agents, except for our director, who he just tells us how to be special agents.
Yeah.
Guy.
Just hold your gun like
Who's a
this.
famous Steadicam
Just go like this.
operator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Round corners a lot.
Actually, no,
Yeah.
you're supposed to do it to the ground.
Oh, yeah?
Do it up here, you can like shoot through a floor and kill someone. So you're
how-
always supposed to point
You
it
can shoot
towards
through
the
the
ground.
bottom floor
Can
and
you
hit
shoot
their
through the
head.
ground?
Yeah, wow.
Good point.
Yeah, you shoot
Charlie's
the ground.
Angels held him. Nah, never mind.
Yeah, bless them. Bless them.
So is what was I going to say? You threw me off then. Is the stories based on real stories?
They are, yeah.
We're basically chasing down serial killers.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, that's-
based on real cases, but our writers change it enough so that any
Yeah.
victims' families wouldn't recognize the person who killed their daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not light, frothy entertainment,
No, it's
but
pretty
it's pretty
vile. It's
dark.
pretty vicious.
dark.
It's very dark.
But it's smart though. I think you'd have to say it's pretty smart. I feel that the scripts are. You know, it's more like a thinking man's kind of show.
It's
I
also
think.
really fun to do.
Like Dancing with the Stars.
A little bit
kinda
like that, yeah.
Dancing with the
I've
Stars with your head cut off. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you watch that? I've never seen that.
No.
Do you, I don't
No.
If blood was spraying every time they did a pirouette,
Twirl, yeah.
then it would be like that.
Yeah, a lot of blood, a lot of cut throats, body parts.
Yeah, the art department calls the show Bloodbath and Beyond. 'Cause that's
Oh, I
they
didn't
go in.
know that.
Yeah, they go in and
But then
take
we'll
perfectly
quote
good.
Aristotle and stuff at the beginning of the show.
So it makes it all right.
Plato.
Yeah, they take perfectly good couches that they buy and put stab wounds and blood everywhere.
Covered with blood. Yeah, blood everywhere.
It's a popular show, though, right?
It's doing great.
Very
yeah.
popular.
Do you direct all of them?
No. I've done, of the 3 seasons so far, I've directed 7. And I was supposed to direct an 8th one right before Christmas. And they told me, well, you can come, but you'll be the only car in the parking lot. So I decided not to go.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll, get back to work soon. And
Why do they
continue.
do that? Shows have a bunch of different directors. Why don't they just have one director?
So it's impossible to do everyone because there's a prep period where the 7 days where you
Yeah.
cast the actors and any location scouting that has to be done. So theoretically, you could do every other one, but it's pretty exhausting. The pace we do is the work in one day. A feature film will take 2 weeks to do, page count wise.
Yeah.
So I've been on a show where I've done like every 3rd or 4th episode, and you also have one. You want a little break in there to edit. But generally, directors, unlike the actors, we're freelance, so I'll jump on and do other shows and come back. So in a typical season, I can do 3 or 4 of one show, but I can go off and work on other shows.
You can
in
also
other
work on
towns.
your abs too.
Yeah,
I know
I
he's
do.
amazing abs.
I do a lot of crunches.
You do infomercials
No,
for abs?
I will at this point.
You know of something, yeah.
Yeah,
I like anything. I like them ones that the Navy SEAL ones. You do the push up, but you like little.
Oh yeah. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Great, isn't they?
I've never done it.
No.
Yeah. It's exhausting to watch that.
Yeah. They make it look easy though. They always got some guy who's on steroids and he's down there doing 100 push-ups, and he ain't even breathing.
they should add like a turntable sound, like a
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
See that? You're a natural director.
See?
Natural.
Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love infomercials personally. You seen the new one? Well, it's not an infomercial. It's J.G. Wentworth. It's my money and I want it now. Have you seen him?
I haven't seen it.
No.
I'm the only one.
What happens in it? What is it?
So
J.G.
embarrassed.
Wentworth.
It's a bank?
That's my money.
I know the
That's not the
name.
guy with all the
That's-
question marks on his
Oh,
suit.
that's,
No,
that's,
no,
that's
no.
Matthew
That's the-
something.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that guy.
He's in Washington, that guy with the suit.
Yeah,
running
walking around
along
like the
Mall of
Riddler.
America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Riddler.
He can help you tax something.
It's getting grants,
That's it.
free
Free
things out
money
of the
from the
government.
government.
Yeah. No, I like
Sure.
the lady with
Yeah,
the
right.
with
Sure.
the vegetable bags. There's a lady with vegetable bags that if you buy these bags, your vegetables will last 3 weeks longer in the
Oh,
fridge
yeah.
because it sucks out the methane gas. And I'm
Yeah,
probably going to get.
right.
I've had her number written down.
What's the Wentworth
wow.
thing? I'm not familiar. It's
J.G. Wentworth.
What they are. Here we go. What they are. What he is. This guy. This old guy. I guess it's him. The one, he looks like he's not a very good actor, so I'd imagine it's the guy who is J.G. Wentworth. But he's. Like when you get ambulance chasers and someone gets some money.
Yeah.
From some nonsense. Like falling down the supermarket, or they get into some
Like insurance
burning their
fraud,
mouth on
or-
soup or
On hot
something.
yeah, or
coffee.
some
Yeah,
some
okay.
or
Personal injury lawsuits.
yeah. Then when you get your money, you don't get it all at once. You get it over a period. What this guy does, he probably gives you a lump sum, and they take over the other bit, and then they take a cut.
So you get it immediately. It's not
Yeah.
like a dollar
Yeah, but
a
you don't
day.
get all of it.
It's
in
not $1 million
advance.
over 30 years.
Give me
Right.
advance on
Instead of
your-
$100,000 over 10 years, he'll give you 40 grand today,
Today.
and then he'll get
Yeah,
the
carry on. Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
get the two grand a year more.
And he gives
Yeah.
he gives you all that money in
Smart.
this methane bag that
Yeah, he ziplocs it.
Put your
in
vets
that
in
front.
for a juicer.
And he throws in a couple of push-up things. in it. Yeah, So that's it. But he's got it's hilarious. And the new one he's got is he says there's these people watching the TV and he's saying, "It's your money. Get it when you need it." So you've got these people shouting out the window, "It's my money and I want it now!"
Oh, from Network.
Yeah.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm
yeah.
not going to take it
a
anymore.
little shout out to
nice.
Peter Finch, right? What was that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
What are they talking
Have you
about?
ever seen Network, the movie Network?
No,
With,
but everyone says
oh,
Yeah.
that that's what
It's
it's
a
from.
great
Sidney
movie.
Lumet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faye
I'm
Dunaway and not George Siegel. Who's the fella? Who's the
George
Great.
Scott.
From
George-
Picnic.
no.
From Picnic. What's his name? William Holden.
Yeah, William Holden,
Oh,
Peter Finch.
wow, yeah. Jeez. It's a good movie. You'd like it. It's
Yeah?
good,
I give this guy so much publicity, J.G. Should be paying me.
You're gonna get
Right.
your money soon.
Where's my money? Yeah, it's I don't know. I love him. Who's the king of infomercials? That guy.
Valanche.
Popeil.
Ron Popeil, yeah.
Yeah, that's the bloke with the
All of it. The
juicer?
Set it and forget
The
it.
fisherman, pocket fisherman.
Oh, I
Mr.
want to
Microphone.
set it and forget it.
Set
That's
it and
great.
forget
You
it.
can spear pork chops and
Yeah.
stick them in there, and it'll cook while you're at the gym or whatever.
That's the next
I
episode
like
of
to
Criminal
do.
Minds.
Yeah.
Pork chops, gym,
Yeah.
pork chops.
Speared pork chops.
And then there's that other guy, Billy Mays.
Yeah.
I'm Billy
OxyClean.
Mays. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I like Billy Mays.
God, I have
with the
OxyClean.
perfect dyed
the
beard.
beautiful
Oh.
beard.
Manicured dyed.
And he does orange glow,
Like
too,
an old
right?
He
G.I.
does
Joe.
everything.
I have all that. Oh, wow.
does
I'm a
everything.
sucker for infomercials.
Yeah. He's great, that guy. Someone should put him. You should have him on Criminal Minds.
You should get him a little guest star. Yeah.
Yeah, let's kill him.
We'll rough him up. We'll chop his head off and
Let's kill him.
see how he looks then.
Yeah, it could be perfect.
Yeah. I used to like the guy with the mullet, the ponytail. He had like the little
that-
bicycle.
Oh, yeah,
Chuck
yeah.
Norris?
Tony Little.
Oh, yeah.
Shouts at you.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
right?
Oh, that guy.
With
You
the-
can do it.
Yeah.
With the big
Right.
thighs.
With the big
His thighs
thighs.
are too big.
I like his thighs.
Those are nice thighs.
I like them thighs.
Creeps me out.
You imagine high heels on that guy?
That'd be nice. It'd be something else.
Don't think that
Unbelievable.
hasn't happened.
Yeah, there's some pictures on
Hair
the
isn't that
internet.
long.
You can do it!
Oh, he's terrifying. Terrifying.
I think he drinks mucker.
He must. He must. Straight from the source.
Because he's out there, that guy. Maybe I should one week have on the panel have all
God,
infomercials,
have all
guy.
those
That'd be
people.
That'd be great.
astounding.
You would have to turn the volume down on everything.
You wouldn't need any. You just
No.
shout out the window.
Yeah.
have him
Greater Los Angeles from the window.
You should write that down. That would be a
Come
good
to
one.
my seminar.
So who would you get? You get Billy Mays, the guy with the ponytail
Tony
with the
Little.
big thighs.
The juice guy, Jack Villain, or what is his name?
No,
Jack LaLanne
No, or the
was the
juice man,
workout.
the actual juice man.
Didn't he die?
He might have died.
Jack LaLanne?
He spoke
No,
to
not
my high
Jack
school.
LaLanne, the
No.
juice man. The guy with the
Yeah.
eyebrows
Yeah,
that
yeah,
were
yeah,
like
yeah.
Really
Yeah.
intense.
flying out of his head.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I remember I saw him in 1969. Before he was like famous as the juice man, he used to go to health food stores and demonstrate those machines. And I remember I was in Chicago, and my wife and I happened to walk past this juice store or health food store, and and it was winter time. It must have been 30 below, and he's got there with the door open in a t-shirt. He was younger then, but he still had like the white eyebrows and stuff, and he was like crazed. We were fascinated because
Yeah.
he kept saying, "Look at me, it's freezing outside. The door's open, but I'm healthy because I drink this stuff." And it was like he was balling up like angel food cake and showing you that's how bad it is. He was squeezing his fingers, and then he was just like he was talking about how he had a wife who was like 11 and he was 30. And
Yeah.
it was like wild. And then to see him on TV, like
11-year-old wife.
right, and then 30 years later, he's like huge, and he was like 120 now.
Yeah.
But look,
Still-
he's 70.
he got like a new 11-year-old wife.
Yeah, exactly.
You still got the 11-year-old one.
Yeah, it was something.
I wonder if he.
Jay Cordis, that was his name.
Wow, write it down.
Cordis.
Jay Cordis?
Jay Cordis.
Nice.
yeah.
got it.
Good
He's
work
still
there,
alive,
Joe.
I'm
The
sure.
Juice Man. He was great.
Juice Man?
The Juice Man.
If he's alive.
I wonder if he's. Do you think he made dough off all that?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think so.
they
Yeah,
made
he
a
had a
lot of
signature
dough.
on the product.
Yeah. Like
I
the
think-
George Foreman grill.
Dough.
that
So that
mean?
means you
Dough?
made some dough.
And then the other guy would be the set it and forget it guy, right?
Set it and forget it, Rum.
The
Is
guy
that
with the
Rum
big head.
Pope? No.
Get it, set it,
Is
and
that
forget
Rum
it.
Popeil?
The-
He's like a big guy. He's like big,
Rotisserie.
big head.
Big head, small thighs.
Yeah, no
Not
good.
Yeah,
quite
because
as good
that
as
guy with
thighs
the
aren't they?
ponytail has a small head and big thighs.
See?
It's all wrong.
Like Yogi Bear.
It's all wrong.
It's like Yogi Bear.
Very.
Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo.
Jellystone National Park.
Get us some picnic baskets.
What are we doing? We going to Duke?
Yeah.
So far, no music. Excellent.
Hey, I like that. That's great.
Hello, music lovers.
You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox Jury. My panel today is actors from Criminal Mind and the director, Guy Norman B., Paget Brewster, Joe...
Joe's enough.
Joe's here, and Matthew Gray Gobler.
Gubler.
We'll be right back after these lovely messages. Thanks for listening. We're on the air. Yum, yum, yum. What's that noise you make?
But that's not how.
I know, don't
I don't want
worry.
anyone
We
thinking that's how
know.
you do it. Cause,
We know you know.
It's a word you can't say on the radio.
You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox Jury with my panel today, Criminal Minds actors and the director, Gorman Lee B.
Gorman B.
Guy Norman Gubler.
Guy Norman Gubler.
Guy Norman B. Is that a real name, B?
B, yeah. You know, my theory is, I'm not sure, but I think it was shortened from McB, which is a very popular Irish and Scottish last
Right.
name. And I have a feeling that my descendants came to America and didn't want to be labeled as Mix.
Ancestors.
Drop the mix.
Descendants?
Ancestors.
Ancestors, that's right.
Yeah.
A little nervous. And so I think they just dropped it. But, you know, in a business where your name is like a brand name, it works great because people just go, oh, yeah, Guy B. So it works pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, don't hire Guy B, whatever you do.
Yeah, whatever you do, avoid it.
Avoid
Run.
Guy B.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Matthew Gray Gobler.
Closer. Gubler.
He don't want that out there. He keeps changing it. No. Gubler.
Dr.
But we have
Reed.
a Cockney writer that calls him Gubler, too.
Yeah, you're right.
Gobbler?
Gubler.
Yeah.
Your name is Gubler. Is that your nipple?
Well, now we know.
Is that your
Mick
nipple?
Gubler. My ancestors shortened it.
Shortened
also.
it.
Yes, exactly.
They want to be mixed.
Right.
And we got Joe.
Mick.
Joe
They shortened my name too from Mantegna to Mick.
Mick
Yeah.
Mantegna. Yes.
Is that everybody?
Don't forget Paget.
Brewster.
Didn't I say Paget?
You thought it.
Paget Brewster.
I'm doing. No, actually, Guy B. He's got your name down. And then.
Yeah.
They actually, it wasn't B, it was Wentworth. But
Yeah.
I have this relative that I don't want to be associated
Yeah,
with. so
I don't blame you. Yeah. Oh, we have it here. Let's
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 see.
turn it around so they can see it.
J.G. Wentworth.
Can you? You got
OxyClean. No, I'm just kidding.
you got to see it. Hold on.
Cash now for your structured settlement.
J.G. Wentworth. Cash now?
Whoa.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
J.G. Wentworth is right. It's my money and I need it now.
It's my money and I need it now.
Yeah, network.
It's my money and I need it now.
It's my money, and I need it now.
If you have a structured settlement and you need cash now, J.G. Wentworth can help. We'll buy all
It
or
never
part of your
worked,
structured
that guy.
settlement for a lump sum cash amount, so you can pay bills that have piled up as a result of an injury or an inability to work. Call J.G. Wentworth
kind of
now
like
and
what our
speak to
show
one
is
of our
like, but-
structured
but
settlement specialists.
everyone's murdered.
You'll
Yeah.
have no cost of
The window would have closed on her head and knocked her head off.
Yeah, some of those actors are almost as good as you, Matthew.
Thank you, guy.
It's your money.
That is
Use it
irritating.
when
I
you
can see how
need
that
it.
would stick in your head.
866
Just don't trust that guy one bit.
J.G. Wentworth, though.
It's got a ring to it, doesn't
Look, the
it?
guy sitting
J.G.
on the...
Wentworth.
J.G. Wentworth. It's my money.
And I
So
need it now.
invested.
I bet his name's not J.G. Wentworth, though.
Yeah, it's probably McBee or something.
Exactly. Poor, yeah, God.
Yeah, that's a bad one. But I love them. They're the best.
Well, the problem is now I watch Network again, a brilliant film,
You've ruined it.
and it's
now.
ruined. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, but he is definitely between him and that old git on eHarmony,
Oh, that kid. I hate that kid.
they take the cake.
His voice.
Kid.
So dismissive, his voice.
What's his line? What's he say? You know that one, right?
Yeah, it's like
Over.
Where's the beef?
Imagine what it would be like
Yeah.
to meet someone who loves you for you.
In a world.
With a deep compatibility.
Yes.
And a deep innermost.
Or 26 points of compatibility.
Yeah.
Right.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Do you fart in bed? What does that mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, come on. You never tried to fill out that. Even I tried to fill out
did
that
the Harmony thing?
I had nothing to do on we're on strike. I tried. That thing is
This is recently?
exhausting. Yeah, I heard that Courtney Love spent an hour and a half filling out the eHarmony compatibility questionnaire. And then at the end of it, they were like, we have nobody for you. And so I thought, I got to do this. I want to see. And I couldn't get 20 minutes into it. It never
What do they
stopped.
ask? What do they say? What
It's
are the
like
define
multiple,
Dutch
multiple
oven?
choice questions. Oh, I wish it were that humorous. And it says things like, are you funny? A, very funny. B, kind of funny. C, okay.
Oh, God.
And it's not, that doesn't, people don't know if they're, it just it's irritating and...
Yeah, Carrot
And
Top
only
still works.
only dumb people could answer it.
I know
It's
Carrot
so
Top fills
weird.
that one out.
It's
He'd be a
impossible to
good match
answer.
for Courtney Love.
Yeah,
That'd be a
exactly.
beautiful match.
Exactly.
Do you think that you've seen the commercials for eHarmony?
Yes.
As a director, do you think they are real people or they're actors?
No, directed those.
No, I think they're actors.
You do?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I thought they
do.
were real people.
but that's the thing. I think they're directed to be horrible. Like
No, they're
well, I mean,
not
to be-
actors.
No, there's a lot of horrible actors in this town. I don't think that's a stretch.
No, I think they're very good actors acting like they're real.
Exactly.
I do think that's true.
yeah, but
I don't think they're allowed to do that. I think in a commercial you have to use the product.
Unless they
I don't
put a
think they're
graphic.
allowed. Is there a graphic
No.
at the
sometimes
bottom?
they do. I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
No, I think you have to.
What about J.G. Wentworth? They're not real. They're not real people who lost their arms and legs in the supermarket.
That one guy kind of looked like William Holden, but I don't think it was him.
Really, they can say. Oh,
I think
God,
if they
I'm
put a
so
graphic, they
What
can.
about
I
all these?
really believed those happy,
You're joking, right?
average-looking people really found love.
The the ad,
Civilian people,
peons,
peons.
humanoids.
No, I thought they were real people. I really did.
I saw Mandy on
I
one.
was very happy.
Brother, can you
I
spare
did.
a
Yeah,
dime?
I guess. Yeah, maybe that's silly.
Are you guys allowed to? Do you have any episodes in the bag?
There's, I think, two
Two.
originals that haven't aired yet.
And then after that, is that coming up? Or
Yeah, I think they're gonna.
it's coming up.
Over
I think
the,
this
I think
Wednesday
this
we have a
Wednesday's
new
one.
one.
Yeah,
Is it a new one?
I think it's one my
Yeah,
daughter's
yeah.
and exactly.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna say,
Yes,
I
it's
think
the one
so.
Joe's daughter's in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nepotism.
The one that's in love with Matthew.
But
No,
she's
that's
really
not the
good.
one.
then.
Oh, it's
no,
not
no,
a
no.
different one.
She and I were in a movie together.
That's
Paget
right.
Years
and
ago.
her, yeah.
She's a real. I mean, she's not. It wasn't like you got your daughter a job.
No, in fact,
She's-
they asked me.
she's a
They
real
said, "Do you
actress.
think
She's
she
great.
would want to work on the show?" I said, "I don't know. I'll ask her. She gets better billing than I do usually. So I had to ask her first."
so, what have they been airing in reruns?
Yeah.
Oh,
They've been
they-
going back and forth, like airing a rerun and then airing a new one.
Our show's so confusing that they rerun really well because you have
Yeah.
to see it like 3 times to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Isn't that true? No, I find that I'll see ones that I'm like, this is a great new episode. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we shot that a decade ago, but it seems new because I don't understand it still.
There's a lot of good movies that you need. You always miss a lot the first time around.
Good point.
Yeah. So here we are.
Hey,
Are you allowed to? Well, I guess you won't do anything, can you?
No.
Nothing.
No,
I suppose we could do.
Well, we could do something, but it has to be done within 3 weeks of being offered the job. So if you said, I'm shooting a movie in Canada and it starts tomorrow and you'll be done in 2 weeks, then CBS would say, okay, you can do it.
AJ's doing something
But
right now.
yeah, because it ends, it's ending
a perfect slot.
this week.
Well,
so
can't you shoot anything that the script's been written like last year?
movies, but again,
It's a
Yeah,
you
but
have to
they're
be
talking about
available
the
to-
time. In
yeah.
other words, CBS.
if the
if
strike,
the strike
ends tomorrow,
we're like sucked back.
yeah,
into,
it'll take our show 3 weeks to gear up and get a new episode and cast everybody, and then we start. So we can't take another job.
What about if they want to shoot a movie in Africa?
Can't do
You
it.
still can't do it.
If it ends within
Well,
3 weeks, we can.
Yeah,
You guys, let's shoot a movie in Africa.
that's what
I
I'm
think it
saying.
takes 2 weeks to fly to Africa. I'm no pilot, but isn't that a far away?
No pilot.
Yeah. If you think it takes 2 weeks, you're certainly no pilot. Lindbergh could have made it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
This is fun.
It's great, isn't it? Yep.
You're right, darling.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyone
Gubler?
pencils?
Yeah, in the 80s, I used to be up there all the time on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. Well, we'd be standing in line. I remember right after I got out of college, the cool thing was to go up, hair metal was big. And,
Yeah.
And, you see this pack of Harleys pull up, and then, everybody start elbowing each other, go, hey, look, Steve
Hey,
Jones.
look, there's Quinn Martin.
Epilogue.
No, it was a fun time. You didn't have to wear a helmet back then.
That's right.
On the bike, so it was a lot,
And you guys pull right up front and then back it into the curb.
You was looking, wasn't
It's
you?
like a stalker. What was your hair
Yeah.
like, Steve?
It was long. It was very long and big and wavy. Big.
Curly, wavy.
Yeah.
Like John Stamos in Full
Birds
House.
used to
No,
love
no,
it.
longer.
Like
hair,
big,
hair
like
metal.
big, like Ted Nugent kind of
Oh,
Wow.
vibe. The birds used to
don't
love,
ever do
love
that
pulling
again.
it.
This is good.
Yeah.
No, this is good.
But I used to get a lot of birds
Well,
back
sure.
then.
What do you,
You still
You
do.
still do,
what I
yeah, what are you
hear.
talking about?
The word on the street.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That woman in the hallway that was like,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah.
That's right. No, but then was I was a lot more in shape and a lot more vain, and back then this was like pre-AIDS, and it was just being slung about all over the place. It was great. And I didn't even go I just sat outside on my bike.
Well, typically what would happen is,
Come and you must have seen it.
Yeah, well, I remember.
Just make it up.
No, I mean that was like there was, Guns N' Roses were playing these little places, the Cat House, these little tiny joints, and after they started to get success, you would go and wait in line and never get in, and then somebody would go, "Oh, we're all going," So it was, a lot happened outside.
What was you doing then? Was you working? Did you have long hair?
Yeah,
I would have loved to see what you looked like. You must have looked so ridiculous.
He had long hair too. He had long hair.
I saw pictures.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
He had long hair.
I just got out of college, and I was, trying to get in the movie business. I was working for a camera rental house and trying to get any work as a camera. And
you do music videos,
yeah,
for cool bands.
Exactly.
But weren't you like
video.
the Steadicam guy? Didn't you create ER? That's what I heard.
Don't know. I did the first 2 seasons. But, I mean, music videos were, there was nobody on the set. We would travel the world, and it was a blast. And, and I fell into this little show that needed a camera operator named ER, and, got friendly with the producers. And at some point, I talked to them about directing, and that's how I became a director. Had to cut the hair, but that's all right.
Kept getting caught in the camera, right?
Getting tangled up in the chamber.
Hair in the gate, Yeah.
It's funny how you stumble across things that take off when you don't try.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just
well, it's fun now to show. I have 2 daughters, and it's fun. They look at the pictures and just laugh, and so it's great entertainment for them.
Yeah.
I still look at you and laugh.
Oh, of course.
You've done loads of movies, haven't you?
Well, I've been around a while. Yeah.
Loads.
Loads.
That's true.
Like 30, 40 movies you've been in?
Maybe probably more than that.
Broadway.
Well, I've been doing. Well, actually, we're talking about long hair. My first professional job was the play Hair in 1969.
Everyone's been in that play.
Yeah, but that was 69 was like one of the actually when it was new.
Was it in England or?
I didn't know. I did here. I did in Chicago on a national tour, but I had hair down to about my shoulders. Then I did Godspell after that, so I grew my hair even longer. I played Judas in that. So for about 10, 15 years, I had hair like past my shoulders.
Yeah.
And it made me think when you talk about how your kids laugh at that. They look at these pictures of my wife and I, and they go, "Well, what happened?"
Yeah.
But,
didn't they have mirrors back then?
Yes.
Is it hard work, theatre?
Is it hard?
Yeah.
Well, it's different. It's certainly different than film. It's like if both are like sports. If you think of it like sports, one's you play both with a ball, but one's football and one's baseball. They're similar but yet different.
Yeah.
So I find that once you're doing it, in a way, you get into the rhythm of it. There's some rhythm to it. In other words, because it has the same kind of schedule, you get into that thing. But it's a whole opposite thing. You're usually working nights. We're in the film business. You're usually working days.
Well, you stop and start when you're doing films.
It's the difference between, if you compare it to music, it's the difference between doing a concert, like let's say doing a live concert with an audience, or making a record.
Yeah.
They're very different forms of performing.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Would you prefer? What would you, if you had a choice?
The best of all worlds. I think it's always best to be able to perform live. And I think a singer would tell you this. Probably, I would think would say the same thing.
Yeah.
In other words, best of all worlds. You get that feedback from a live audience, that energy.
Yeah.
They become part of the equation.
Yeah.
Where in film, you have this lens that's just basically sucking the life out of you.
Yeah.
Which is, there's not that immediate enjoyment. It's something else. The process is what's enjoyable. This is what's fun. Meeting the people, getting to make friends, having that camaraderie, doing the process and all.
And
But
we're
the
lucky
actual-
because we have a really fun
Yeah,
set.
it's a
We
great
have a fun crew.
Yeah.
And I think, and often what happens the case is the amount of fun you have is in direct proportion to the kind of material you do. Here we do a show that, for the most part, is kind of has a dark and grim kind of subject matter, but almost the counterpoint to it is the kind of the atmosphere on the set and the people involved, and it's a great group.
Do you think it rubs off on you doing all this dark stuff?
It did it first for me. Just because I started reading those FBI manuals with
Like
pictures.
real ones?
Yeah, horrible
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
so look at the real pictures.
Oh, they're awful.
Ooh.
They're everything that can be shoved inside a human body after it's been strangled. It's just horrible stuff.
What
horrible.
people do after.
Oh yeah, and we don't. Yeah, there's so much.
Oh, yeah,
there's stuff we
don't
don't
even go
show at
near
all
that.
on the show that like really sick psychopathic.
In a way, that helps, I think, explain the kind of humor that we have, though, off camera. Because you think about it, we only spend very small moments actually filming.
It's like 3 minutes filming, 40 minutes.
Right, hours and hours of hanging out.
And
then you talk to the real people, like when you do the research, you talk to guys who are like homicide detectives or people who've done this they'll tell you how often they have to inject some kind of levity into what they do. Because I remember I had to do some research on a film that dealt with this same kind of subject matter. These homicide detectives were showing me these photos, the most horrific things in the world, but they would make jokes about it.
Yeah.
And then I think they were like testing me. Yeah, and they basically said you have to do it. You have to do it because in other words, if you get too wound up in this, you'll go crazy. I mean, it does exist, but you have to be able to at least step away from it.
To laugh at it. Like Ed Bernero has all those stories when he was a cop.
The guy who created our show, who runs our show, who's our boss, the executive producer, he was a Chicago beat cop. He was on the street for 10 years. So he's got that very dry, like, emergency medical technicians and paramedics and emergency room operators, cops, firefighters. They all have this really dry, dark sense of humor because they see the worst things that people can do to each other. And our boss is like that. Very funny. Dark.
The nicknames are great. They find a dead body that's been in a house for 2 months. It's a stinker. They find somebody in a river as a floater. They just have these generic nicknames because it's better than actually
Dangler?
addressing.
Why do they call you Flamer? What is that?
Like me?
Yeah.
Flamer?
Oh, no,
Why is everyone calling you? Why is Gubler?
He's a gobbler.
I like barbecue.
The Flamer's a gobbler.
Oh, that's a crispy critter. I've heard that.
Critter.
Crispy critter is a burn victim.
Yeah. Frequent flyers, somebody that comes having done ER, they show up and complain about pain all the time to try and get a prescription for Valium. Frequent flyer.
He says it got to the point they could tell the caliber of a bullet by what size finger you could stick into the hole that was in the person. In other words, if his little finger went in and it was, that's a 45, this is a 38.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Matthew tried to show me that in this trailer once.
I
wouldn't go for it.
Let me see your finger really fast, guy.
Seriously, close your eyes. It's a bullet wound.
No, it's a bullet wound.
No,
Your
just
finger,
guess.
My finger.
Close your eyes. Why are you lighting candles?
Now cough.
Why is that video camera all set up? Whoa.
Is it?
That's a floater.
That's a poofter.
Is it a small, as far as many people there are in the world, is it a small percentage of people who do horrific things?
Well, they say there's only
of people?
30 serial killers operating at any given time
I heard
in
it
the
was
United
54.
States. 30.
Where'd you hear 30?
From Clemente.
How would Clemente know? He's just an FBI profiler. I guess it's 30.
He's just only one of the real
He's
guys.
the only real-life profiler. Okay, it's 30.
So it's 30. So there's 300 million people in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Is it 300 million? So
Want me to crunch the numbers?
pull out
I'll
your
crunch the
pocket
numbers.
calculator, you nerd.
My TI-84
Find out
pocket.
30 out of 300 million. It should be easy. It should be.
How many zeros are in a million?
10 million?
So many of them are repeat offenders. We keep letting them out. They go in, they go out, they go in, they go out. You go to other countries like Singapore. They have no crime
Oh, they
because
chop their hands
they
off.
chop your hands
Yeah.
off
Yeah.
Then you're
and
done.
kill you if you sneeze on the carpet. So
Yeah. Is that good, do you think?
maybe somewhere in between is
Maybe
the right way to
effective.
go.
Probably not good. It's probably not good.
But obviously, if these guys keep doing it again and we're worried about being politically correct, shouldn't you want to get rid of them?
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you on that.
pedophilia is a 99% recidivist. You can't cure a pedophile, someone who rapes children.
They admit
will
that,
continue to rape children until they die.
And they admit it. They say, I can't be trusted.
Exactly. So
what do you
they
do
should
with
never
them?
be let out. Why are they being let out? They're not rehabilitated.
Can't you put all these nutters on some little island like lepers?
Well, that was Australia. Wasn't
I'm
it?
with you on that. I'm with you. It's 0.000001 is the ratio of
Thank
serial
you.
killer to.
But
Thank you,
they're
Matt.
only ones. So there's 30
Serial killers, though. That's when they catch them, they go away. They're done.
The serial killer?
But there's always
Yeah.
new ones. There's always new ones, right?
Cropping
But it
up.
still stays around roughly 30 people.
Isn't that weird?
New graduating class every.
Yeah.
Is that in the animal world too? I mean, are there out of all wolves, are there like 0.001% that are just
Psychopathic?
crazy wolves that eat other wolves?
If you could get maybe 5 of them to come on your show, Steve, we could at least get 5
panel.
in here.
A panel.
And
Ian
then we
Harmony?
could,
Oh, don't now?
Grab
some
them.
kookaluka's gonna call
No.
him now. And be like,
Yeah.
Oh no, you're done.
Yeah, it's all over
You
for
served
you.
Jonesy a death warrant, Joe.
No, but that's what I mean. Once they get inside, you shut the door and
Lock 'em in.
Lock them in.
Case closed.
Oh.
Steve can handle. I can see that. He's handled worse than that.
Yeah.
Do you have any weirdos, repeat weirdo callers?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know if they're
Do you
serial
get fan
killers.
mail? Do you get threatening fan mail?
No.
No.
Well, I don't.
Chances are you do, and they're keeping it from you.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't know.
no.
I mean, you get a couple of people a bit obsessive,
No.
but what is a serial killer? They're normally you don't really know, right? Is that?
They're compelled to murder for various reasons, and now they can point to drug abuse problems, frontal lobe damage, where they've
So they are
They
mental.
have impulse control problems. Yeah, they're what we would call mental. Yeah, but they're not necessarily crazy. They can plot and plan, and it's premeditated, and but sometimes there's organized and disorganized.
They're fascinating, I find.
Yeah.
We're all fascinated by them.
Well,
I think.
that's why the show is interesting for not only us but the audience.
That's why our ratings kick ass.
And sometimes the person's not necessarily like we did an episode this season where it was basically a sympathetic character because it showed how
Oh, we had a psychotic break.
somebody who just had something very traumatic happen to them in their life, and then all of a sudden it flipped them over to the other side. But they weren't necessarily they weren't a bad person. They were just flipped out because of what had happened to them.
Yeah.
But serial killers are people who continue to kill unless they're put away, like John Wayne Gacy or Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it right.
Yeah, no,
Trying to
but they do.
perfect.
They perfect their technique. So, and I think we are all fascinated by them because
What is
the
it?
way people stop to look at a car crash.
Yeah.
Apparently, they just discovered this. It was a Johns Hopkins article or something about how we are compelled to look at it, and some people to study it because it's a survival mechanism. If I can see this person's horror, I will learn enough for it never to happen to me.
Yeah.
So we think if we, watch the news and this gunman,
Then we'll know
that we'll know and we'll be able to avoid that situation.
Makes perfect sense.
What is the compulsion? What does a serial killer? Is he getting off on it?
Usually sexual, isn't it? Mostly.
Yeah.
But that's sort of that's like mixed wires, right? Wires crossed. That
They
killing equals a
associate
sexual
sex
outlet.
with-
Well, the penetration also of like a knife is
Right.
often
Sexual.
synonymous with. I only know this from the show, but it's sort of many of them are impotent, and that's the only way they can even sort of get sexual pleasures by. I mean, that's a specific case of type of serial killer, but I know it's.
But it's like a
frequently
rage and release. They're relieved in the killing, whether it's sexual or not. The release of this sort of pounding rage.
Yeah.
common. Which also like the orifices filled with like. Like
that's
those
why
books.
things
They're
are
overcompensating
put
for
into people a lot of the time after.
Wasn't there a show called The Orifice?
Yeah, Steve Carell's great on it.
The Orifice.
Oh no, that's that's The Office.
I'm thinking of something else too.
The Orifice with Steve Carell.
I like the Ricky Gervais version
Yeah.
a little better.
Yeah.
I like them both.
They're both
I
good.
think they're great. I guess both of them
I
are
haven't
good.
seen the new one.
But that's I mean, obviously, like you were talking about pedophiles. The reason they're pedophiles is because 99% is because they were fondled with, right?
Yeah. I would think that's often the case.
I think, yeah, but it's not always. The
Not
case.
always,
I
no.
mean, it's
Really?
that. Yeah, it's also power. A lot of them have been beaten, not necessarily sexually assaulted, but they were physically and verbally assaulted while they were growing up, like
Yeah.
in formative years when they were 1, 2, 3. They were being.
And it's a combination
attacked,
with
and
that
so they-
and being a bit
Yeah,
not
being-
all there,
yeah, I think
or
so.
something happens, traumatized.
Because they know that's the other thing is not a lot of them. A lot of them think that it's completely normal. Some of them know it's wrong, but they still are compelled to do it. So that's an impulse control problem, and sometimes it's been proven that that's brain damage, actual brain damage. They haven't fully developed the frontal lobe.
Well, ain't there smaller versions of that, like people when they cheat on their wives? Ain't they getting away with something? They know it's wrong, but they're doing it. Ain't it like a small version of that?
I don't
It's
know.
weird. And do you
Then
think
you're
that they
talking
know
about-
that they think they're bad? Like, what do you
Well, a
think?
lot
Do
of
you
them. I
think
know
that the serial-
NAMBLA, the North American Man Boy Love Association.
I'm a member,
They
yeah.
think that children are aware of their sexuality at 3, and that these young boys are choosing sexual contact, that they are hitting on these men. They believe that.
Oof.
So that's someone who doesn't think what they're doing is wrong. They think what they're doing is right.
Well, it's like this,
and that they're being persecuted.
I saw a thing on a girl has bulimia, and she looks at herself in the mirror, and she sees herself as being fat. She's 87 pounds, eats, throws up.
Right.
There's a frontal lobe problem there.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy with the ponytail, with the too small head and the big thighs?
Yeah.
I think he has the male version of that, which is gargantuanism. When a man looks in the mirror and
Thinks he's small.
he thinks he's tiny.
Well, that's steroids, yeah.
He's creepy.
Do you get that, Gubler?
I do, gargantuanism. Yeah, I've got a bad case of that. Yeah. I think I'm tiny, but looking at me, you can tell.
Huge.
Yeah.
What size pants are those?
Whose fanny pack is that? Is that yours, Joe?
Yeah, sure. I still live in the 60s.
That's that guy's with the thighs. That's his back.
You know what, though? That's what the FBI carries their guns in.
For real.
That's what the FBI has.
That's cool.
Carry their guns in
I like
fanny
it.
packs.
Well, because I hate to carry stuff in my
No, it
pockets.
makes sense.
I just don't like to sit on
It's
my
a man
wallet
purse.
and all
More
that.
of a
I
man
can't.
purse.
Get one.
I can't.
Well, I just want to inform you, we've gone through an hour without planning.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah. You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox Jury. The panel today is actors from the TV show Criminal Minds. Matthew Gray Gubler.
That never gets old.
Joe Mantegna.
Yeah.
Am I saying it wrong?
You're getting a lot closer.
Just say it once.
Mantegna.
It's like Tony Montana.
Yeah, that's close enough.
That's enough.
Mantegna, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe Mantegna. It's like Joe Montana.
Kind of like it.
Okay.
I used to get his mail.
Paget Brewster
Beautiful.
and Guy Norman McBee.
Three brilliant actors and some other guys.
Yeah, he's the director. We're going to be right back after these lovely messages. Thanks.